The Chicago Bears have officially traded the first overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft to the Carolina Panthers for Carolina's first round pick this year, which is the 9th overall, a 2023 second round pick, which is a 64th overall, their 2024 first rounder, their 2024 second rounder, as well as wide receiver DJ Moore. The deal can be considered as a win-win, as the Panthers now have complete control of this year's draft and will potentially draft their franchise QB. As for Chicago, they get a capable wide receiver 1 to help third-year quarterback Justin Fields develop further in DJ Moore. In this video, I will detail the benefits of this trade as well as how I think the Bears should move going forward. If you guys do enjoy this video and you would like to see some more like it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And with that said, let's get right into it. As mentioned, the Bears acquired a ton of assets for the number 1 overall pick, which were almost a guarantee since the season ended that they were moving the pick. A lot of top prospects in this year's draft are quarterbacks, with talents such as Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, and many more being available in the most stacked quarterback draft class in years. Despite this, the Bears believe that they have their franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. Fields showed great improvement from his rookie campaign in the 2022 season, increasing his number of passing touchdowns by 10, increasing his passer rating by 12, and also rushed for 8 more touchdowns. Fields also rushed for 1,143 yards, which is third most in NFL history by a quarterback behind Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson. In addition, on week 9 versus Miami, Fields rushed for 178 yards, breaking Michael Vick's 20-year record for most rushing yards by a quarterback in a game. Despite the historic second year, however, Fields finished the season 3-12 as a starter. It's never fun to lose, but because of losses, Chicago finished with the worst record in the NFL, which in turn led to them getting the number 1 overall pick. The Bears as a whole have a lot of holes in their team. Throughout the 2022 offseason as well as the 2022 regular season, a majority of the defense was traded or cut, with key pieces like Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, and Roquan Smith getting traded to the Chargers, Eagles, and Ravens respectively. They drafted pieces in the 2022 draft that does draw some optimism in Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, and Dominique Robinson, but it's very early to praise or degrade said players. Also, the Bears objectively had the worst offensive line in the NFL this season, allowing 58 sacks, the 4th most in 2022. We'll say, Tevin Jenkins did take a solid leap in year 2, but the rest of that line was either injured, Cody Whitehair, or just sucked. And I swear to God, if I see that fucking loser, bum-ass bitch Sam Mustipher next season, I'm gonna fly to Soldier Field myself and I'll pull up my Glock. Additionally, the front office did not do a ton in the regular season to help build a suitable wide receiver core to go battle with. Entering preseason, Chicago had the 5th cheapest wide receiver core in the NFL at $15.6 million for the entire wide receiving core. For the first half of the season, the Bears had no direction in terms of developing a passing offense, with their top 3 receivers being Equanimeous St. Brown, Dante Pettis, and Darnell Mooney, who was not himself in the slightest. They would later get Chase Claypool in a trade from the Steelers, and while he did not have the most promising start to his Bears tenure, it is way too soon to throw the towel in on him just yet. A common theme with everyone I have named at wide receiver is that none of them are legitimate wide receiver 1s. A narrative that has been pushed as of late that does have some merit is that in year 3, young quarterbacks are gifted a talented wide receiver 1 that helps them take that next step. Some examples include the Buffalo Bills acquiring Stephon Diggs from Minnesota to help their third-year quarterback Josh Allen develop further. The result? They made the AFC Championship game that year. This wasn't necessarily in the 3rd year, but the Cardinals traded for DeAndre Hopkins to help second-year quarterback Kyler Murray, and while there wasn't immediate success for year 1 of the pairing, they ended up making the playoffs in year 2 for the first time since 2015. The Eagles traded a first-round pick to the Titans to acquire A.J. Brown to help develop third-year quarterback Jalen Hurts. The result? Making the Super Bowl. There are other examples I can use as well, such as Tyreek Hill going to Miami and much more, but I think you get the point. The Bears have seemingly found their wide receiver 1 in DJ Moore. Since 2018, he has had close to 1,200 receiving yards. Throughout this span, his best quarterback on the Panthers was Cam Newton, who was far out of his prime. Other quarterbacks he had to play with were Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, PJ Walker, Kyle Allen, and Will Greer. As stated previously, just having a bunch of solid and good receivers will not be enough to propel a team to success. A constant with all the teams I just named who acquired big name wide receivers is that they already had a complete team for the most part. Chicago still has a lot of holes in their team, but there's a lot they could do to correct that. Some of it they can utilize thanks to the draft picks they acquired from Carolina. Even though they traded down to the 9th pick, the Bears still have a lot to work with. A lot of mock drafts still have JSN going to the 9th pick, and while I think picking him would not be the worst move in the world, I no longer think it would be practical, as the Bears already have 3 young, promising receivers. I think for the immediate future, they should draft an offensive lineman with their 9th pick. Unless a talent like Jalen Carter somehow drops that far, they take him instantly. I really would not care less if he killed someone. They should take a talent like Paris Johnson Jr., Peter Skoronski, Broderick Jones, basically whatever top talent's available at 9. I'm being completely honest, I'm not even close to a casual. I'm even further to that when it comes to college football, so don't think I'm going to give any sort of opinion on who Chicago should draft outside of round 1. As far as other needs that I previously talked about, the Bears have a ton of picks in different rounds of this draft, as well as the most salary cap in the NFL entering free agency. And as of this recording, by the time this ends up getting uploaded, free agency will have already started. As far as what Chicago should do in free agency, in my opinion, they should focus on boosting the defensive line as much as possible, which they have so far. They signed TJ Edwards to a 3-year deal, and one of my favorite signings in a very long time, Tremaine Edmonds. So they should work in the draft and free agency on bolstering their offensive line, and so far they have done that as well. They signed Nate Davis to a 3-year deal. Another point of emphasis should be trying to bring back David Montgomery on a fair but affordable deal. If he wants too much, they should let him walk and either draft a running back or commit to Khalil Herbert. Somebody I forgot to mention up to this point is Cole Kmet. He was very quiet in the first half of the season as Chicago's pass game struggled, but as the season progressed and the passing game opened up a lot more, Kmet slowly began to establish himself as a top option at the tight end position. Granted, the position itself was very weak last year. Kmet finished 13th in receiving yards for a tight end, as well as tied 3rd for receiving touchdowns for a tight end. And he can be a valuable part of the future for the Bears offense and a potential go-to guy for Justin Fields. In conclusion, Chicago has a very bright future ahead of them objectively, including multiple first-round picks that could go very well into the top 10 in 2024. 4 picks on top of those, as well as a good amount of salary cap. Assuming everything goes to plan in terms of development, it could be a scary decade for the Chicago Bears. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new and you want to see some more videos like this in the future, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. With that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.